I'm looking at a 380 call, you guys. All right, ready? Finger on the trigger.
2, 1.
I'm in. I'm in right here. Let's go. Let's get that rule of eights out the way. There we go, right there. Rule of eights accomplished. Okay, we coming up. Everybody in here got a piece of that? All right, yeah, you guys get it. Get your money, man. All right, I'm dropping 2 right here. Rule of eights in effect, baby. I got these 2 runners right here. Uh-huh. Good morning, guys. It's July 4th, and something about the spy pattern just is bugging the shit out of me, guys. Honestly, you guys all heard my opinions. I believe that this is a major bull trap for everybody here, from anything up from, I would say 440, maybe 439, 438. I believe on the entirety, this is a bull trap. I mean, that doesn't mean that we can't trade calls, though, right? As long as we are, seeing certain things that we need to see to trade them. But I see a big gap on SPX. As you guys all know, I've been yelling about the $30 gap on SPX that should make it fall, because SPX usually doesn't dangle the carrot. They usually go ahead and run their gaps. Now, it just happens to be that that gap is below the gap that the SPY has been showing on the SPY charts, and the gap on the SPY charts is about $3. Now, if you go back and take a look up and down the chart, you'll see those gaps. You go look at SPX and compare it to the SPY chart, you'll see where that gap lays on the top of the SPY. And the reason that SPX is important is because basically, without going into all the crazy details, the SPY is about 1/10 of the SPX. So when the SPX has a big move, you could basically divide that by about 10, and that's how far that it moved on the SPY. You can go back and check this. Don't count on 443.79, I believe, where the SPY is at, or closed yesterday, to multiply that times 10 and get exact numbers, because it's not exact, but it's just about 1/10. Okay. So, and I notice I trade the SPX also a lot of times, and I notice that that correlation is pretty much correct. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to just go through it a little bit here. I cleared my SPY chart, and on the SPX, we have, hold on, let me pull it up on my other screen real quick here. I'm going to just go through this. Just something about this chart bugging me, man. I think it's a big ass bull trap on the entire thing. So, but what does that mean? That means we can still go up significantly, but I believe it's trapping people in calls, because a lot of people are going to see this and jump in calls. They're believing it's going up to 500, and it just might go up to 500. I'm talking about the SPY, but we don't want to get trapped. Okay, so on the SPY, there is a gap right around 441.13 to 438. So if I can show you that gap real quick, let me see if I mark out 441. That's close enough. Down to, I believe it is 438, 37, somewhere in here. Okay, and I mark my gaps purple, so everybody knows when they're looking at my charts. I color code because time is of the essence when you trade options. Okay, so this is the SPY gap right here, and that's about 441. About $3. 39.44, yeah, about $3. Okay, and then you also have, I'm not going to go to that chart, but you also have an SPX gap, and that SPX gap is 44.22.89 down to 43.98.66, and on the SPY chart that kind of correlates to the SPY chart right about here is, I believe, like the top of that, and then it comes down to, like, I want to say somewhere right here. Okay, it's not exact, but this is the SPY gap. This is the SPX gap, sorry, and this is the SPY gap. Now, as you can clearly see, if you're looking for a pattern here, right, we have a double top here, right, here, coming up to here, coming down to here, coming up to here, and if this pulls down, here's your neckline here, right? So this is why I'm looking at this very closely. If this drops, this level drops in here, and it starts breaking through this gap here, right? I believe because it's so shallow, so short from hitting here, which is like a $2 little space between here, I believe it could come down further because the SPX will drop it further, and that'll be about right here on the SPY. So that's about 436.88 to about 433. Yeah, so that's like a $3 thing there, and I told you it's $30 on the SPX. That's important, and I want you guys to understand that of why I'm looking at this. Now, I may be wrong, but that's just what I think, okay? So I would not think that this double top is going to come all the way down here. It might, okay? I wouldn't necessarily think that, but it might. And let me show you, it may do that because we also have a $2 gap on the SPY at 424. Let's see. Let me see, 424. I believe it's about right here, down there. Hold on a sec. I believe it's right here, down to here. Okay. And so it just may come down here, right? Now that's not too far of a drop to assume that SPY can make. Let's look at the numbers real quick. You come up right here, 444, and down here is 422. So that's a $22 drop. I mean, I'm not saying this will happen overnight, but I'm saying it's something to keep your eye on. And the crazy part is, I believe if you go down just a little further, there's another smaller gap somewhere down there. But we're not going to go and jump to that, right? So usually in my Discord, what'll happen is I will come up and I will figure out what pattern it is and then figure out entries on that pattern. Now, I see a double top here that could quite possibly be forming, and it could quite possibly come down to this level. So normally, if it wasn't such a pivotal place, like right now, it's really very important levels on the SPY right now, because a lot of people want this thing to go up and break and get into the 500s, and a lot of people believe that it's going to drop like a hot rock through butter. So we don't know which way this thing is going, you guys. And right now we're right at the top of resistance at the SPY. So, but this is one potential thing I spotted. Now, me personally, I am going to, if this thing turns and starts coming down, I'm probably going to aim for right about here. If this double top starts forming and we start dropping, I'm going to probably aim for 433.87 from 444. It's about $10, $11 drop there. I already have a call in place that I'm locked into for that, which is a put, which is a 445. Oh, no, sorry, 443 put. And the 443 starts right around, let's see, right around here. So that way, if this thing takes a nosedive and it comes down, I'm already locked into play. All right. But I'm actually in a strangle, and I'm in the 445 call because I believe right now we could jump up and make a new high. So in case this doesn't happen, I want this thing to go up. Now, so I played it that way, and then now let me show you what I'm thinking on that 445 call. 445 starts around right here. So you can see we're right above the level that it's at right now. Now, if you scroll back here, right, we already came past this high here at 431, and my flag pattern worked out up to that point. And now we're looking at a new high right here at 450. And it's quite possible that they can just be dangling the carrot with these gaps. Excuse me. And they can be looking to come up and create a new high at 450. So, in that case, this is why I took a strangle, right? And we're right here at 444.25, you know. So, this is basically resistance right now, okay? Put that red line there. That's basically resistance. Now let's check out which way is this thing trending is the important part, right? And it's from right now I could tell you we're trending up. Okay. So I'll just come from here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So right now, let me just don't pay attention to this fourth and fifth leg here. I'm just looking at 1, 2, 3 legs, right? So we moved up past this level here, which was resistance. Let me mark that. This was resistance here. We moved up, we broke that, and then it became support here, right? So we're going to go ahead and put that green now, turn that to support. Moves up all the way, comes back here. That's our first leg. Okay. Our second leg comes down and stops here. We do not break the low. All right. So that still shows me more than likely we're trending up. All right. So everybody knows how I do it in my Discord. I mark that low there. Okay. Now look at the gap here. 429. Not gap, but gap between these two lines actually. Okay. 429.68 up to 431.35. Okay. So this did not come down and break this low. We ride up. We have somewhat of a pullback here, but it doesn't break this low. Somewhat of a pullback here, but it doesn't break this low. Then we gap up, and then we come up, we hit this line, somewhat of a pullback, but it hasn't broken this low. So that makes me think we can also jump up and break resistance here, right? So in my mind, we're still in an uptrend, and we have between 443.95 and 429.61. That's a pretty huge level there. Okay. So now what do I do from here? Now that I've figured that the trend is going up, or it should be going up, but there is a reason for it to come back down and not break this level, right? Let's get this out the way. Now let me show you that. Let's get this out the way. So now that we have these levels here, well, actually let me mark a few more levels here. Let me mark this level here. Let me mark. I'm going to mark these because these are kind of significant. I mean, we scalp here 443, 434.55 up to 435.60. So you got a good buck there. You can make some money off that if you know what you're doing. Okay, mark this low here. Okay, 441.31 down to 435.46, and then we got our high here. Okay, now what we need to pay attention to also is this right here. Okay, hold on. Let me mark this different. Now I warn people. I show people on patterns all the time and levels that when you're looking at wicks, like this guy right here. Okay, to me right now, this is somewhat neutral. Even though it's a rejection, it is somewhat neutral. Now let me zoom in here and show you what I'm talking about. If I can get the thing to not go like blow up really huge here on me. Let me get out of there. Let me grab another one over here. All right. So what I mean is, oh, there we go, better. Okay, so that wick broke the high. When the high is coming from over here, right? Make sure the high is right. Okay, so that wick broke outside. And a lot of times when that happens, that's a sign that you're going to be moving in that direction. It's going to retest and go back to that direction. And that's the average way that we know how to do things, right? That's the way that we have studied and back tested, and we figured that out, on the retest and things like that. So that's one thing I'm paying attention to right there. Let me fix some of these laws now that I've got in here a bit. Okay, real quick, guys, hold on. Because I got pretty thick lines so that everybody can see. Okay. All right. So right here we got this wick out, and then look at right here we got another wick out. But the important part to think about right here is this wick here is lower than this wick here. Okay. So what does that tell me? That tells me I want to put another high here. I'm gonna go ahead and make that a 3. And turn that red. Okay. So this one at the top is here. At the top is 444.29, and this guy right below it, 444.06. So that's a few cents shorter there, right? And these are just the wicks. Okay, we kind of got a continuation right here with this candle from this candle, so that's still showing an uptrend. All right, come back. So now what I want to do is I want to make me a trend line. And remember, we're looking at the day chart here, guys. I'm going to come here from the low. Okay. I'm going to come out like this. And this is how I do it. I don't care how anybody else does it. I don't care whose channel you're watching, what influencer you're following. I don't give two shits, okay? This is what I do. If you don't like it, hey, you know how to use your computer buttons, all right? So, now, what pattern am I looking at here, right? And on this overall pattern now, if it's going to go up, I'm coming in bullish. And for those of you who don't know what I mean, look at my tail over here, okay? Coming in bullish here. What pattern do we see here? Like I said, for you guys that don't know, this is coming in bullish. because we got this guy coming in. This is the way we're coming into the pattern. Okay. Let me just get one of these. Let me see if I can do it right this time here. So we're coming into this pattern bullish. Okay. Basically, that means we're coming up. We're moving up, right? So we're coming in bullish. I'm just marking the pattern from here. I can actually mark it from down here. And you may be able to understand that a little better. Me, 2 points is enough for me. So this point is my first one. This is my second one touching. And I just bring them all the way up and I extend all the way up to my highs. Okay. I would actually just bring it up here like this. And what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at a bullish ascending triangle. Okay. Or wedge, whatever you want to call it. I'm not technical, guys. All right. If you're looking at a slice of cheese here, let me show you for you technical people. Okay. You're looking at a slice of cheese. You're looking at the wedge here. All right. Happy? There you go. And it's bullish. So in my channel, when it's bullish, I go green. All right. So everybody in my channel, if I'm not talking and I'm just typing, they know that that's a bullish, wedge, ascending triangle, whatever. How do I know it's an ascending triangle? Or it's ascending because it's coming up. Not that it's coming in bullish. It's coming in bullish, but it may not be ascending. Okay. That's pattern recognition. All right. So coming in bullish, here's your slice of cheese, your piece of cake, your piece of pie, your wedge, your triangle, whatever you want to call it, 3 sides. Okay. I guess a triangle would be 3 equal sides. I don't know. Who cares? So this is bullish right now. So it's also has a green hue or line around it. If I thought this was going to drop, what have you, when I drawed it and it was on its way down, it would be green because it's bullish, but then it would have red around it, meaning this may be going to the downside right now. So on the ascending triangle here, it's coming in bullish. This thing should pop out to the top. So that is the reason why I took a call. Okay. And that's the reason why I got in the strangle. 445 or 445 call, I believe I took. Now, I believe I took that because I'm thinking it could shoot up to 450. And I'm thinking that, maybe it will break that tomorrow or the next day or what have you. And so I went out to Thursday on my strangle. And looking at that wick right here that happened on Friday the 30th, we may go to the top. But now get this. If we retest, right? Let me get a 1, 2, 3 here. Where's my lines? If we retest, and here's a bit, it's always an if, you guys. Nobody's 100% on this stuff. If they are, run from the channel. Okay. I just need 3 lines here. All right. Run from their channel, okay, if they are. So, 1, 2, and right here, we came up, and I'm believing if we're going to pull back, which they do a lot, you guys know how that goes. That's how I'm thinking we maybe can pull back to at least this 435 here if it starts dropping through the gap. And SPX is notorious for taking out their gaps. So we might even drop to this level here is what I'm thinking. 434.33. Okay, everybody see that? Let me change the color on that. All right. Plain and simple. That's why I took a strangle. Now, to elaborate a little more, let me go grab a 5-pointer over here somewhere. Let's see. Now, usually I notice it's about 5 legs and then something breaks So this is a bullish piece of cheese here, right? So we're coming in here up to this point. 1, that's 2, that's 3. Then I'm thinking somewhere in here. Let's just mark it here at the line. 4, and then I'm thinking 5, and maybe this goes up to 450 here. Maybe it doesn't, but this is what I'm thinking, guys. Now this is definitely going to take more than a few days, but that's why I went out to Thursday, and that's the reason behind my strangle. Okay, that's it. They may go up and break a new high or set a new high. They may not. Either way, the way I took the strangle, I take strangles according to the spread on the ask price of the two strikes that I'm taking. And also when I take straddles, I do the same thing, right? The only thing that can kill that strategy is them literally going down the middle. And that's what they've been doing, is sticking with one number and going down the middle. And that's how the market makers have been killing everything off for us. And I really wish that if you were new to trading, that you would stop just buying anything, that you would learn some TA first, that you would learn how to think about this thing, learn how to make your process to trade this thing before you just jumped in it, because they're preying on you, okay? And I noticed they've been killing 0DTE, and I am a 0DTE trader. I am never scared, okay? I will jump in at 100 contracts on the SPX if that's what I feel like I need to do at that point, and my TA is on point. But now I'm kind of unsure, and it's because the way that they treat time decay. If you don't know what time decay is, I suggest you look that up. I'm not going to get into it. That's a whole nother animal. So every time the AI changes, I just figure out what they're doing, and then I start trading that way. Sometimes I go into a time period where I won't take trades because the price on the option chart and what the delta is going to pay me is not worth it. Okay, if you don't know about deltas, I suggest you find out, and I suggest you find out how to find your share price and what share price that you're shooting for, because it's worth it to do that, to mark your goals out. Okay, you guys, I'm real big on goals. I'm real big on setting a solid foundation so that you don't get lost in the sauce here, because there's a lot of technical analysis out there. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good traders, but it's easy to get caught up. Okay, and I talked about mental gymnastics, and I always warn everybody in my channel and say the same things, to just constantly hit that subconscious and make sure they're getting it. Okay. Now, this is why I took the strangle, because a whole bunch of people keep asking me. I go to the gym, people ask me. Okay. I go to the store, people ask me. Look at my emails, people ask me. YouTube channel, people ask me. So I just made a video. I'm going to post this one on my Patreon and post this one on YouTube. Okay, and this is why I took the strangle. Right? Now, whether you guys watching or not, I don't care. I don't live off my YouTube channel, but I am going to start being more focused on it here, just because why have it if I'm not going to do it to the best of my ability? And I've really been lacking on posting videos on here, guys, and I'm sorry about that, but I will get back to it. But for right now, July 4th, 2023, this is exactly what I was thinking going into that strangle. All right? See you later. Have a good 4th of July.